This video will trace the abandoned Wabash Norfolk Southern rail line from Manhattan to Symerton. Here we see a Norfolk and Southern train waiting to head north towards Chicago in Manhattan. The Norfolk and Southern line from Manhattan to Gibson City was abandoned in 1991. The line from Manhattan to Chicago currently has Metro service, and Norfolk and Southern does serve an industrial customer that is located on the former Milwaukee Road in Manhattan. Speaking of the Milwaukee Road, the pond at Manhattan Central Park is also part of railroad history. The pond was used originally to fill steam engines with water, and that will be shown in a plaque that's at the park. And there you can see the Manhattan Metro Station. It is part of the old Wabash line, and there's a small Milwaukee spur just to the south that serves an industrial customer. As stated on the plaque, the land was sold in 1916 to the Milwaukee Road Railroad, and this was the part of the Milwaukee Road that headed towards Moments, and I'm going to show in the next part a historical aerial photograph which shows the junction of the railroads. Here we have a 1939 aerial photograph from the Illinois State Geological Survey, and I can put a link in the description for where you can find this data. But you can see the pond, and you can also see the two rail lines, the Milwaukee Road, which is headed southeast, and the Wabash, which is headed southwest. And the 1939 date is really interesting because in just a few years, the Milwaukee Road would build a spur to reach the Joliet Arsenal. And we're going to see that the Wauponsee hiking path actually follows that Milwaukee Road spur for a few miles south of Manhattan. Continuing south of Manhattan, the Wauponsee follows the Milwaukee Road spur that came off its main line in Manhattan and headed south to connect with the Joliet Arsenal. And on this map of the Wauponsee Trail, you can see the Wauponsee there on the eastern edge of Medewan National Tallgrass Prairie, which was formerly the Joliet Arsenal. The Milwaukee Road spur paralleled the Wabash main line, and you can see that it's just directly east of the Wauponsee, south of Manhattan. And this is a little cattle crossing here. You can see the concrete abutments, and that was constructed to connect this farm with cattle to the pasture that was bisected by the train. And continuing southwest towards Hoff Road, where the Wauponsee Trail then is on the eastern edge of the Medewan Tallgrass Prairie, what was the Joliet Arsenal. And again, you can see the remains of the Wabash rail bed just to the east of the Wauponsee. Continuing south, the Wauponsee Bridge over Prairie Creek offers a view of the Wabash Bridge over Prairie Creek as well. And continuing south, there is a little jog in the trail here, but you can kind of line up where the Milwaukee Road, where that alignment continued to the Arsenal, what's now Medewan National Tallgrass Prairie. Okay, so if you kind of just imagine this line continuing, you can see that row of trees where the Milwaukee Road right-of-way was. So again, Milwaukee Road, Wabash, and then in this next section here, this is where the trail crosses over to the Wabash alignment. Again, Milwaukee Road alignment more to the west, and then the Wabash alignment would follow that tree line there. Okay, so just a view from the western side of Gauger, the Milwaukee Road alignment, the Wabash alignment. So this part of the trail between Gauger Road and Hoff Road, the trail is in the middle of the two right-of-ways. You have the Milwaukee Road spur right-of-way to the west, and then the Wabash to the east. And then coming up here where there's a curve in the trail is where the trail crosses over to the Wabash alignment. So now the trail is on the Wabash alignment, and the Milwaukee Road spur is to the west. And then as the spur goes up to Hoff Road, that's where it would have crossed and headed into the arsenal. Now at the Wauponsee Trail at the Hoff Road crossing, you can see the trail continues to follow the Wabash, and then to the west, the end of the Milwaukee Road spur. You can see there in the ditch what is left of where the railroad went into the arsenal. And as the Wauponsee follows the Wabash heading south towards Symerton, there's an interesting piece of history here in this timetable from 1942. And inside the timetable, we can see the listing of stations between St. Louis and Chicago, and listed in the stations between Manhattan and Symerton, there is a station listed as Arsenal. And this is continuing south on the Wauponsee. Here we are maybe about half a mile north of Symerton, and we have a little stream crossing here. Now we are just north of Symerton, and there are a few concrete blocks, a few rail ties as you make your way towards Symerton. And as we head towards Symerton, there is a parking lot here for people who want to hop on the trail at Symerton. And as you can see, there is this building that was associated with the grain elevator that was located in Symerton. And as we get a little bit farther south here, you will see an old sort of auger spout where it would have lined up with where rail cars could have been filled. And this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please add any comments with any history or other facts you'd like to include. Thank you so much for watching.